Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Cocktails and Conversations. I'm Chris Bent, the president of Atlantic Cruising Yachts. I've got some special guests with me today from across the pond. I have Laurent Fabre here with me in the Annapolis area. Say hello, Laurent.
Hello, everybody.
I have also with me Stephen Guedeu, the commercial director of Fontaine Pajot. Stephen and I have been working together and friends for got to be 10 years now, Stephen, but he's been with the group at Fontaine Pajot Group and is also overseeing the Dufour since the acquisition of Dufour 2 years ago now. So welcome, Stephen. Glad to have you.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Nice to be with you.
And then we have also in La Rochelle, we have Nicolas Beranger. He's the product director for Dufour Yachts. Nicolas is also from France. He's a very well-known professional sailor in Europe and in France. Done a lot of racing, brings a great sailing pedigree to Dufour, and has recently joined the company as the product specialist. So Nicolas, welcome, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Chris.
So before we get started talking about the exciting new Dufour 530, just a little bit about our company, Atlantic Cruising Yachts. We're a large full-service yacht dealership based in Annapolis, Maryland, with offices in Fort Lauderdale and St. Pete, Florida, and also now in Texas. And we've been well known for our business yacht ownership and charter programs. We've been dealers for Fontaine Pajot for a long time, and been partners with Stephen and Laurent and the group there with Fontaine Pajot Group for many years. It's like almost like a family relationship. It's been, I think, a great relationship for both of us. ACY, as we call it, we are an industry leader in North America. I think we are the largest sailing yacht dealer in North America, possibly worldwide. We're up there. We delivered 50 new yachts each year, approximately. We're hoping to do more than that. We're always asking the factory to build us a few more boats. We have 8 full-time sales associates around the country, but as importantly, we've got a huge service and support administrative team to help facilitate this process of buying a yacht that's built in France, getting it out of the factory, commissioned, loaded onto a ship, delivered to the Caribbean or the East Coast or wherever, and outfitted and equipped exactly the way you as an owner want the boat. We've got it's quite a process. We've done, I was counting recently, since 2015, over 230 boats out of La Rochelle, so quite a few. And a lot of those stay here in Florida and Annapolis and the Bahamas, and a lot of them go and end up in the Caribbean. So it takes a big group of talented people to make that happen, and I'm very proud of the ACY team. This past year, we decided to become Dufour dealers. We had, for a long time, been Guedeu dealers in the Mid-Atlantic and into Florida. And when Fontaine Pajot acquired Dufour, we were very excited about the direction that we knew that our friends at FP would go with the talented team at Dufour. And we're seeing it happen. The new products that are coming out are incredible. The sailing performance we're going to get into talking about, the fit and finish, and the incredible value. We've been blown away, and we've really seen a trend in our market here in North America, with monohull sailors being more demanding when it comes to the performance of the boat, fit and finish. I think in the old days, the customers that were less worried about sailing performance, you know, they may be doing other things. They may be buying power boats or buying catamarans. And the people that are buying monohulls today really are looking for that next level of performance. And that's one of the main things that excited me about Dufour, in addition to being able to further collaborate with my friends at Fontaine Peugeot Group. So we made the change this year. It's been off to an incredible start. Just about a month ago, we had the Dufour 530, the 490, and the 530, the 430, and the 390 arrive in Annapolis. And we've taken our first 5 orders already. We've only been dealers for a few months, so we're really happy with the direction this is going. And more importantly, we've been very impressed with the boats that arrived, and have had a lot of fun going out there and sailing the boats. So very happy to be working with Dufour. So as I mentioned, Dufour is really a monohull specialist. They're not building power boats. They're not building catamarans. That part of the group is focused exclusively on building monohulls, sailboats that have great performance, great comfort, that are safe and easy to use. So with that, I'd like to hand it over to my friends in France and Laurent here to talk a little bit about the Dufour design DNA. You know, what goes into designing these boats? What are you looking to accomplish when you sit down and think about a new model?
Well, before talking about DNA, I would like to give some quick figures about Dufour. What is Dufour? So we are looking. Yes, I'm Steven. Talking from La Rochelle, a nice city in southwest of Paris. So a few figures about Dufour. Dufour, we have 400 employees. We are producing a little bit more of 400 boats every year. We have a huge experience, a lot of know-how, because we have been designing and building sailing boats for more than 50 years now. We have produced over 25,000 boats since that time, so we have a lot of experience. Dufour was the first sailing boat company to export boat in the US. Well, it was about 30 years ago. And Dufour is #1 in the 3 biggest markets in Europe, who are France, Italy, and Croatia. It means something. So who are we? So it's true that the DNA, one of the most important things for Dufour, the boat must be a performance boat. It's not highly performance boat, of course, because our customer, they are requesting a lot of comforts, but they need to be with a certain level of performance. And what we are talking, the pleasure of sailing. The pleasure of sailing, steering the boat, sailing well, upwind with a very good speed, but also the pleasure of sailing while you are sitting, having a cocktail like tonight, enjoying life. So this is very important. So when we are designing a boat, we are always keen of keeping this performance. Of course, performance means safety. So we have a lot of safety in our boats. When the boat is going fast, is well on the sea, has a good behavior on sea, so it's important. And of course, easy maneuvering and full control. We have different option, different level of equipment, of course, according to the level of the sailor. So this is always important for us when we design a boat. I don't know if Laurent, Nicolas, you want to add something?
Yes, I think if Nicolas can tell us a little bit about the philosophy of the design and how we integrate, I would say, the team of Felci from Italy, and what Felci is trying to bring to our line every time he's designing a new boat. Do you hear us, Nicolas? We may have lost Nicolas. Huh?
Yeah, maybe the bad connection.
Steven, you're going to have to answer that question. And before you do, I just want to mention, I see a number of the guests today are going to have questions. I see questions popping up. we're going to do that at the end. We'll do a question and answer session at the end. So if you have a good question, write it down. We definitely want to get to it. So yeah, Stephen, if you could just tell us about I keep jumping ahead, the relationship with Felci Yacht Design and a little more on the Dufour design DNA.
Well, yes, this is related to what I was saying previously regarding the performance, the pleasure of sailing. So we started a collaboration with Umberto Felci and his team almost a little bit less than 20 years ago. And we are very happy with this because, you know, Umberto Felci designed a lot of famous racing boats. And when I say racing boats, they are huge sailing boats, winning a very famous race in Europe and also all over the world. And of course, when we are speaking about Italian, we are speaking about the design, because having a very nice boat, a very nice design is so important, especially now where the boats are more and more looks the same. Well, when you see a Dufour far away, you can really recognize the line. And this is due to this fantastic team that Umberto Felci has built in Italy. So we will keep going on with Umberto. And this is also related to the next slide, Chris, because you have seen we have a huge range. As you mentioned before, we are a sailing boat builder. We are not building powerboats, so we are focused on the sailing boat. At the breakfast, we are thinking about the sailing boat. For lunch, we have in mind the sailing boat, and for dinner as well. So really, we are 100% focused on sailing boat. As you see, we have a comprehensive, a full range, and all the boat looks the same, and this is also very important. We don't have a model we is totally different from the other one. There is a real range effect, which is very important. And each time Umberto and the Dufour design office is designing a boat, this is only with a smooth. There is an evolution, but this is a smooth evolution. And this is also important for us. And this year we have launched the 53. Next year we will launch 2 new models, and we are really keeping the level of investment very high, because we will release at least between 2 and 3 new models each year. And I can tell you that in France we had a 2-month lockdown in March, April, and all the Dufour design office was fully working at home, of course, but they were fully operational and preparing the launch of the next models, because we know that you love the new models. We do love new models, and we need to rejuvenate the range with this famous smooth evolution.
So
anything else? Yes.
At least 2 new models per year. That's
yes,
impressive.
Yes.
While you mentioned the lockdown, I know there was some news in France tonight, but how is that going to impact it, if at all, the factory and the production?
Well, you know, during the last lockdown, well, it was the first time, so we stopped everything, but only for 3 weeks. The lockdown lasted 2 months in France. Only 3 weeks. The time for us to create and to implement the process, the sanitary process for the workers. So the 4th week, we started again the production. So no impact on the production, because we are used to all the employees are working with safety conditions. They're wearing a face mask, and also, you know, we have due to the working condition, we are changing the air 10 times per hour in the factory. So there is absolutely no problem, and we are really strict on the sanitary processes. So we will keep going on with the production.
Sounds great. Well, I've got a treat for everyone that hasn't seen this yet, but I'm going to go ahead and roll this, and we'll get a little flavor for this Dufour 530. makes me
Very
want
nice.
to take off and go sailing.
Definitely.
Yeah,
That's
great
the
job.
idea. Huh?
Yeah, and I got to sail that boat last time about 10 days ago, and the performance of this 530 really blew me away. It's a very stiff, very solid boat, and the performance we experienced out there in light air was unbelievable. And I haven't had a chance to take it out in heavier air yet, but Laurent, you, I think we're on board with the magazines Cruising World and Sail, who have nominated the 530 for Boat of the Year, and they gave you some feedback about the 530. Can you share with us what they had to say?
Absolutely. Well, they came because it was supposed to be the Annapolis Boat Show just a few days ago, and all the journalists came anyway to have a peek at the different new boats that were presented on the market. And they were here testing all the new boats from the different manufacturers, and they have nominated the 530 into its category. And it's kind of funny because some of the boats, much more racing orientated, also have been nominated in the same category because of the length. And I don't want to talk about the competition, but I was telling them, guys, how are you going to do? Because if you look at the comfort and the volume inside, definitely the 530 should win. But if you look at pure performance we are against a racing boat. And they said, well, Laurent, don't be too worried because we enjoyed so much sailing your boat. And unlike what you had, you had 5-10 knots of wind, we had up to 22, 23 knots of wind. So we had a very good experience on the water. And all the journalists, whatever magazine, they said, wow, that boat is stiff, it's sturdy, and it's stable. And even, that's the job they have, and they push it to the limit. So at a point, at 22 knots of wind where we should have been reefing, they said, no, we'll try to see how the boat can handle. And they had a big smile on their face. Of course, we are all wearing masks, but looking at the eyes, we knew they were really smiling, and they were very impressed. And one of the reasons that, the boat is so stiff is just the construction. We have solid glass for the base of the hull, and the bulkheads are fully laminated to the hull. And this really builds a very, very strong boat, very stiff and very, very reactive. So the sensation at the helm is perfect.
So don't all the other builders glass their bulkheads to the hulls as well?
Well, most of the industrialized people, the Beneteau group, which you used to represent, they don't anymore. And that was one of the big surprises. Even the first 54 that, is competing, is built like the Oceanis, and they use glue and soft glue to absorb the different shocks. Okay, so it makes the boat a little bit softer, easier for the people who learn. But for a sailor, for an avid sailor, you're losing a lot of sensation and precision. And also, a lot of our competitors went for double rudder. And, that was kind of fashionable because of the Volvo Ocean Race and all those races. But, on a fast cruiser, it proves not to be useful at all. And when you have one single rudder, which is really well designed, protected by the keel, you have a much more powerful boat. The sensation is much, much better. And I'm not even talking about when you're using the engine, because the thrust of the propeller is directly on the rudder. When you have twin rudders, the propeller is kind of in between, so you lose a lot of efficiency.
Yeah, I think I experienced all of that in my time sailing with the boat, and I know Ken, our commissioning manager, has been really impressed with the boat as well. You told me that part of the Dufour design philosophy on these boats is to have a rig that doesn't have to be reefed until 18 knots or so.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can go to the next slide if you manage. If you're thinking, yeah. And that's really the philosophy of Umberto Felci. All of the boats, he navigates himself. He takes boats with his family every summer. And I know Steven, who is here, Nicolas also, we all navigate all the time we have available, and we fully understand the perception that our customers may have on the boat. And one of the rules that Felci has is he wants the customer to feel really in control and comfortable up to 20 knots of wind, having all the sails out. And the idea is until you reach 18 knots, you shouldn't reef on a Dufour. Okay, you don't have to reef. And the boat is perfectly balanced. That was a word also that came out from the journalist. They said, you know, it was very precise and very light at the helm because the boat is really well designed and very balanced.
Yeah, we definitely experienced that. Once the sails were trimmed, you didn't really have to touch the helm at all, which was really nice.
Oh,
nice,
yeah.
Very nice balance.
Yeah, guys.
And when you look at the lines, the way Umberto has designed the boat is very Italian. Huh? And I've been working with many Italian designers in the past, and they always look for precision in details, you know, perfection. That's really in their own DNA, but also pure lines. The fewer lines you have, the better the product is going to be aging. You know, when you have too many lines, it gets out of date very quickly. And here, I mean, this is really a masterpiece when you look at the way the deck and the hulls are designed together. Very, very few lines. And at the same time, he said he wanted to create some kind of dynamism, so that even when the boat is resting, not sailing, it gives a feeling of speed. And when you look at just those shapes, I think he did manage to reach that goal. The boat is really impressive on the water. It's very high when you see the hull, but then you have the feeling that the deck is getting into the hull, and it gives that feeling of speed and power.
Yeah, it's really nice, beautiful, clean lines, and you see it. Yeah, I get the privilege of looking at our customers' new 530 on our dock every day, and especially in that dark blue hull, it's really nice.
And of
so
course,
we talked about the design brief. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about the hull shape and what the goal was there.
So it's kind of funny because on the marketing side, on the sales side, we know that our customers, they always want more storage, more volume, more liveaboard capacity, and this is exactly what we asked Felci to design, and he's trying to resist it because he's really from the performance roots, you know. And Fontaine-Pajot a little bit the same. Huh? If you talk to Jean-François Fontaine, he really wants the performance to be dominating in the design of the product. And very often those two goals are not compatible. The great thing working so many years with Felci is he has modelized all of our products in his database. He has a mathematical model, and he can predict the speed, changing the shapes. And it's really by experimentation that he manages every time to surprise us. He can actually increase a little bit the size, the beam of the boat, and he makes sure that every time we gain speed, we don't lose speed versus the previous model. And here again, you see this recessed above the window of the hull. This is really also magically designed to give that feeling of speed and power.
Well, those are all,
you know,
great.
Enough about performance.
Yeah. So sorry, you wanted to add something on the performance?
No. I was saying enough about performance. You know, yeah. As Steven said, our boats are here also to enjoy, and this is where Dufour has been bringing a lot of innovative features, because this is not technical innovation. This is innovative features, and a lot of people appreciate.
Yeah, I got to tell you, we got so much feedback and excitement on this feature of the boat at our private boat show event last week. Everyone was blown away by this. It seems so simple, yet, you know, Dufour is really the first one to do this integrated, you know, you can call it an aft galley, you can call it an outdoor kitchen, but what a great idea. So You have the grill there integrated into a compartment that with a lid that opens up and becomes, a backrest for somebody on the other side. But you've got a sink, you've got a grill, and a place to put a beer or a bottle of wine and hang out on the transom. I mean, when I'm cruising, that's where I like to be. I like to be back there and, hanging out on swimming, and, you can fish right there, pull the fish up and throw it on the grill. It's pretty cool. So, who thought of this idea? Stephen, was this?
Definitely. The design team at Dufour, huh? Really.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of a game changer with this design. We'll talk a little bit more about these features, but another great idea, and we're starting to see more of this, but the tender davits that telescope out and you can put them away when you don't need them really cleans up the back of the boat, and this works very well. We've tried it out, and it's a great solution. So when you're at anchor, the platform here becomes your dinghy dock. The dinghy can be out, tied off the back, and then when it's time to go, you pull the davits out, hoist the dinghy up, and off you go. Easy access to a life raft here, or whatever storage. You could use that space for lots of different things. But just a great space. And then each of these seats folds up and out of the way so that you can have access, and makes for a very comfortable spot. We had the cushions here wrapped around the gates. I don't know.
The backrest.
Let's see, highlighter. Maybe I can. Where's my pointer? But anyway, this is a very comfortable area to helm from. You're leaning against here with a cushion. It's very natural and feels great. So I like that a lot. And again, 80% of the time is spent in the cockpit. So when you're not sailing, you've got separate area for the sailing activities. Are all taking place back here. The winches, most of the winches are aft, and you've got a separate living and relaxation area forward. The other part that everyone loved was this sunbath bed, and the back of this can fold up so you can kind of lounge against it. But when you're sailing, this is a really comfortable spot where kids can come sit and be part of the sailing that's going on. And then when you're at anchor, of course, it's a great place to relax.
Yeah, I have to tell you, the journalists were a little bit surprised because this is not a typical design of a sailboat, huh? And one of them was saying, "Well, I don't know too much." An older guy, more traditional, said, "I'm not really convinced about it. And when you are maneuvering, tacking, you'll be in the way." And we took the challenge. We said, "Okay, well, why don't you make yourself comfortable here when we're going to go sailing, and let's see how many times you are in the way." And he really enjoyed it because this is one of the places which moves the least. It's close to the center of gravity, and at no point did he have to move when we were tacking or jibing. I mean, we really proved our fact here. One of the things also we need to highlight here is probably on the top left image, that small stair in front of the helm. This is also a very innovative feature that Dufour introduced here. You always struggle to go to the deck forward, and Felci and the design team here have made some space available in front of the helm, so you don't get into the way of the guy who is sailing the boat, and you don't have to walk on the cushions. You have a very natural and clear path to the side deck, which is quite beamy, and it makes it very comfortable actually to head to the deck.
Yeah, this is one of those things that seems so simple, but you wonder why no one else did it. Everybody hates stepping onto a boat and putting the sole of your shoe down onto a nice cushion, and this just makes it easy to get onto the side decks. And the way the Bimini is designed, which we'll talk about next, it really facilitates the movement through there. So this was a great job. Very easy to get on and off, in and out of the cockpit this way.
And furthermore, Chris, those two items we just saw, the step, you can see that underneath you can use it to put all the sheets. This is a storage, yeah. And the sandbath as well. This is an additional storage, which is very useful. Laurent, you were mentioning that it's always a challenge having more and more storages, which is really requested by our customer. Well, this is a way also to satisfy them. So more storages actually, plus some additional feature with the sandbath and this step. Yeah.
True.
That's a huge.
When we left the dock, sorry,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just saying it's a huge storage space inside of there. It's really and very easy to access. It's nice.
Yeah, when we left the dock, we had the 5 fenders plus all the mooring lines into that storage. So that was perfect. You don't need to go elsewhere.
Don't have to run forward and dig them out of the chain locker.
Exactly.
Make somebody get up who's sitting down in the the lounging area. It's right there. So good move. Also, the placement of the plotter is very nice. It's easy to see. You've also got room on top of the consoles over here for a variety of different instruments, depending on what you want. But this space right here for a large plotter is very good. We'll go on to the next one here. So we talked about this a couple minutes ago, but again, getting back to this, I think the design team spent a lot of time on this bimini, and it's great. It's flexible, and you can put part of it away when you don't want it. And the access, again, this is where you come along the side deck, so there's no toe stubbers along the way, and then you just hang a left right into this wide space to get in, so you're not ducking under canvas, stepping on cushions. It's a very nice solution because you're not giving up storage or interior space, to have different types of access to the cockpit. It's the best solution I've seen so far, and you really just have to try it out to understand it. But it's great.
Yeah.
Great visibility with the bimini, this large, the centerpiece. We used to call it the divider, which would just zip in from one to the other and sag in the middle. Now you've got a nice frame here, and again, here's the seat backs that I talked about, where you relax while you're at the helm. It makes this a really great spot to steer from. Any other comments on that one, guys?
No, we're good.
Okay.
So if we look now at how you can specify the boat and how you can build the boat of your dream, and we can go directly to the next slide. Dufour here has realized the dream of a lot of manufacturers, which is creating one boat with 3 different versions. We have the easy version, which is the most simple boat, simple deck, probably more for the professional or charter companies. Then we have the ocean version, which is really the one most of our dealers will be focusing on, more for the owners. And then if you really want to go racing against your neighbors and having fun on the water, we have even a performance version that can be bought with a performance keel, a keel that has been designed specifically for that boat. And that comes from the whole philosophy of working with Felci, where when we had the Grand Large and we had the performance range, and we had to give up the performance range to make it a simpler line. Felci said, okay, we do that, but I still want the performance element to be in the range, and this is the best way we could combine it. What does it mean to you as a customer? It means you can really pick and choose, almost customize your boat, although it has been industrialized. And one of the best example of that, if we look at the next slide, is the way we have been accommodating the rigging on the deck. A lot of manufacturers today, they ask you to go to German sheeting only or to traditional sheeting only, and because of the way they have designed the deck, you don't have much choice. at Dufour, our philosophy is to give you the freedom to have the rigging that you want to use for your boat. So we still have the Traveler on the roof, and we have winches everywhere, and all of them can be electric, of course. So you can really build the rigging according to the way you want to be sailing. You want to do a German sheeting? We can do a German sheeting. You want traditional sheeting? That's easy to make. You want a furling mast? We have that, of course. But the way we have designed the boat with a single automatic reefing line make it so simple to have the full batten main that really we are trying to keep the boat on the performance side without having the use of the in-mast furling. So you can see also here you have the side track. So of course we have integrated the self-tacking jib, which comes with the boat. But if you want to accommodate with a code 0, it's very easy to add to the boat. So again, a lot of the journalist said a lot of versatility, and I really like that word because this is really one of the goals that we had in mind when we designed the boat.
Yeah, and it works very well. You know, I've already got. I think that each of the three Dufours that we got all have something a little different in the deck layout and the rig layout, and it's been a lot of fun. I know what I like, but we leave it to the customer and try to understand how they want to use the boat. Everybody has a different way they want to sail and what they want to do and where they want to sail. So it's nice to have choices.
And the customers are usually pretty adamant about their way of sailing, you know, which is the best way. And here it's easy to say, okay, if this is the best way for you. Same, you know, and here I would talk more about modularity than versatility. The way the layout has been designed is extremely clever because we can accommodate many different layouts without changing the structure grid. You can see that we have the forward galley right in the middle of the boat over there before access to the either owner's cabin or the twin cabins. But this is really giving the configuration of the boat. And then we play with modules, which can be either heads or bunk beds. And you can go from a very specific 3 cabin, 3 heads, extremely luxurious layout, or you could even have, I think, 6 cabins. You can manage, to the right, you can accommodate up to 3 heads and 6 cabin layout for the most charter-oriented type of use. So, in between the versatility of the deck layout and the modularity of the layout inside, really here you give a lot of freedom for the customer to choose and pick the boat of his dream. And one of the configuration I know you like particularly, Chris, is the next one, huh?
Yeah.
On the next slide.
Most of our customers and clients go with this type of layout. Of course, not everybody. It depends on what they're looking to do. But I think this, and with the possibility of doing the Pullman berth in this space rather than this settee and nav station, gives a great amount of flexibility. So that would be the second layout that we saw before. But you can also take that Pullman, the bunk bed cabin, and use it for a washer dryer and, you know, a utility room. There's all sorts of things that we can do in that space. I think this is, for our market, probably the majority of our clients are going to go with this type of layout, either with the settee here or with the bunk cabin. And we just kind of glossed over it, but this forward galley is really a game changer in this boat. It opens up an incredible amount of volume here. This area here becomes massive, the amount of space that you get, because normally, you know, with these boats, you're chopping up this area to put a galley in, or, you know, galley back here, and you lose, you know, half of this beam. Now, when you don't have to cram a galley into this space, this becomes a huge luxurious lounge. I used to sell a lot of Guedeu 64s, And the space of this area on the 530 reminds me very much of that space on the 64. And the 64 again had a big galley over here, and then a lot of cabins going on. And this is so open in here. We'll see it on the next slide, but you get the ability to do a full size refrigerator and freezer, and you're not giving up the the proximity of the galley to the guests, so you can be very involved in the conversation while you're preparing meals. It's a really great solution, and we'll look more on the next slide.
Yeah, and
we
Chris,
very often have the comment. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Steven.
Yeah.
No. The front galley is really part of the Dufour DNA now. Normally, the front galley usually was only for the big yachts. I would say over 65 feet. But we, with the design office, the Dufour design office, with the Felci team, really managed to do it on the smaller model, because even on the smaller model, the 430, the 390, we have this front galley. As you mentioned, we have a lot of, thanks to this. First, we have a huge galley with a lot of storages, and you can put a lot of equipments. But as you can see on the slide, you have really a huge saloon, very comfortable, which allows us also to put additional cabin on the side with bunk beds or some storages. This is fantastic.
Yeah, this is like I said, when I look at this, I feel like I'm looking at a much bigger boat than a 53. Not that a 53 is a small boat, but I've spent some time on, like I said, on the 64 and others, and this is a very impressive space. The other great thing about this design is you manage to put storage cabinets back in without giving up the light. A lot of production builders went away from these overhead cabinets. First, I know they're expensive to put into a boat, and secondly, they take up space where you can have light and windows. But by having this light here, and then the big overhead hatches, and then the hull ports down here, brings in a ton of natural light. And then you combine that with the ambient lighting down here, it really works. And then you get all this storage space, which you never have enough of on a boat. You don't have to go hunting through the floorboards. You don't have to make a special video on where to find it. It's right here in front of you. And I love that. So great job on that.
And this is a very good point you bring up. And I know some people who are listening are comparing, the different boats on the market. Please pay attention to the volume of storage, and definitely also water, fuel tank capacity, fridge capacity. If you compare for the same size, Dufour always have much more than most of our competitors, and sometimes double as much. So and this is why we have so much success in Europe, where people go really cruising, and they want to be able to have that capacity of space.
The other thing the other feedback that I got from not only our team, but from a lot of the customers, including some of our past customers that had bought boats from us before, was the quality of the fit and finish, and just the sense of a more luxurious boat. You've got stainless steel buttons for lighting instead of plastic, and stainless steel hardware on the cabinets instead of cheaper plastic knobs and things. It just really it looks and feels like a luxury yacht, and I think they've done a great job with this.
And this is also part of the DNA. The wood manufacturing capacity is just alongside the capacity, the manufacturing of the boat. It belongs to us, and all the frames of the door, all the frames of the furniture are massive wood, where most of our competitors have gone for lighter solutions, cheaper solutions. The handrail, you could see the handrail, all of that is also massive wood, and it definitely gives a touch of solidity. We're talking about the materials. I mean, all the heads and all the galleys are made with corian, and corian is a very durable material, which is famous in America.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's on my list here. I just kind of jotted down some of my favorite features of the interior. The forward galley we talked about, this providing this incredible sense of volume inside the boat. The refined fit and finish, you know, just to feel a luxury yacht feel. And the choices of how to dress up the interior. You've got 3 different layouts that are offered. You can have 3 different choices of wood with corresponding fabrics and materials that are beautiful. And you know, it's nice to have choices. Everybody has a different feel for, you know, flavor for what they want. And I think Dufour's done a great job of giving a lot of flexibility there. And they're when you look at them, they're quite different. It's interesting to see in the options books how different this space can look depending on what you choose. Again, abundant storage and light. We talked about that, and the quality of the materials. So I think that that was probably one of the most consistent elements of feedback that I got back over the last few weeks. Was people were really impressed by the space and by the quality and feel of the Dufour, the interior. The forward cabin, huge space, really well designed, and it's got a separate head and separate shower compartment on each side, so you can shower without disturbing somebody else. And great storage space here and under the bed. Just it's really beautiful. You know, looks like a luxury, you know, Four Seasons or, you know, nice hotel room. I think they've done a great job.
I think we can go really quickly on the specs. Again,
Yeah,
I encourage you to compare volumes.
Yeah, all available on the website, on the Dufour 530. We're equipping all of these boats with the upgraded 110 horsepower engine. Americans always want the most horsepower, whether they need it or not. So we get that, and that's what we have in the boat in the water now, and it's terrific. The rest of this we won't go into it today, but it's all available on the website. Pricing, everybody wants to know about the pricing. So the 530, well equipped, and that's with what we call our ACY cruising package. These are the options that 95% of our customers choose. And then from there, of course, there's all sorts of customization available, both with additional factory options and lots of aftermarket options that we're famous for being able to provide, either in La Rochelle with our people there, or in Fort Lauderdale or Annapolis. So the base price of the boat, and I don't know why manufacturers do this, but they all do a base price that's a boat that you can't sail. It's on jack stands at the factory with minimal or no options. But everybody does it this way, so we're all kind of bound to that. So 374, a well-equipped boat, delivered across the Atlantic to North America, to Annapolis or Fort Lauderdale, with U.S. import duty paid, commissioning, and then all the necessary options such as generator and air conditioning, the electric transport platform with the aft galley, all of your electronics, the comfort version, the style pack, electronics, the electric salon table, the upgraded 110 horsepower engine, bow thruster, furling mast, electric winches throughout, the complete canvas package, and all the commissioning and dealer prep. 678, 368 all in. That is a hell of a price. I mean, I compare that to some of the models that we used to represent, and I think this is probably the same as, for example, the Guedeu 51. It's a hell of a lot less than the Guedeu 54, and it's a very competitive price. Any other input you want to put on? Who else are we competing against with this boat, Laurent, in your view?
Oh, definitely. Hansel also has a boat in that range, you know, the 535 or Benito, the 51.1. But again, our price is very competitive compared to them, sometimes at the same level or even lower. And when you walk in the boat, it's a completely different world. Huh? We offer so much more volume, space, and level of finish. We are definitely competing with higher, I would say, higher levels of products like Amel, oysters, and at that size, for that price, I mean, it's a hell of a boat.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's a great value. And anybody that wants detailed price lists or a detailed quote, just email info@Atlantic Cruising, and in about 8 seconds, one of my team will get back to you. They're pretty responsive. So where can you come see one of these boats? Well, we've got some choices, got some options for you. We've got one in the water at our office in Annapolis still. That boat will be here, I believe, until about mid-November. Then we're sailing her down to our docks at Fort Lauderdale at 1800 Las Olas Boulevard. We have a brand new, beautiful office there. We're very proud of it. We're debuting the office this weekend at the Fort Lauderdale, during the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, but we decided our place is so nice, we didn't need to bother with the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show. We're going to do our own show at our own docks. So if you're in the Florida area or going to be in the Florida area this weekend, please come by and see us. I'll be there Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and our team will be there. But this boat will be arriving there, I would say, plan on around December 1st. Our plan is to keep her there for the new owners over the winter, finish some commissioning items, and then she'll be in the Miami Boat Show in February at the Dufour display. And then she'll be heading back to Annapolis in May for the Spring Boat Show. You also have the opportunity to charter this boat. We've got one that is arriving at CYOA Yacht Charters, which is one of our Waypoints partners. I think that boat is arriving in late December, early January, probably ready for charter sometime in February. Just check, you can check with Waypoints, waypoints.com, and find out more information, or visit CYOA, their website. And we can book a charter for you, take her out for a week, enjoy it. If you love it and you want to order one, we'll actually credit you back with our Try Before You Buy program. We'll credit back part of your charter towards the purchase of a new boat. So I think that's a great opportunity. That's it for the presentation. What I'd like to do now is take some questions. I know a few of you had questions earlier, so I'm just going to open the tab and I'll read them off. Lisa Gibson would like to know if the yachts leave La Rochelle with a NEMA 2000 trunk backbone with multiple drops pre-installed, or is that done during commissioning? Well, the electronic pack has the NEMA 2000 backbone. It's a very simple matter for our commissioning team to plug additional electronics into that system. If you'd like more information on that, I can have Ken Krasko respond to you, but we've got an amazing team that can do pretty much anything you like to do. But yes, the backbone is there. Other questions? This usually takes a couple of minutes. People have to have a sip of their cocktail and then they start thinking, and then the questions start flying in. So while you're thinking,
hey, when is the next one available?
Sip of my champagne.
And Steven, when is the next 530 available from the factory?
Well, it depends. Well, it depends to be delivered or not. It's gonna be at the end of the season.
Yeah, June. Huh?
If you can hear me, I'm not sure. We have plenty of...
Hey, you are back.
I'm back, guys. Yes, sorry. Yes, there are plenty of boats delivered every week from the factory. So I would say 1 boat a week is leaving the factory everywhere in the world. We have the next one will go to Turkey. We have another one going to Australia, and some other are going to Europe. So we have plenty of boats going away, and we are fully open to receive your orders for new boats for America soon.
All right. I have John is asking, says, his Beneteau dealer mentioned the draft issue with Dufour. What does that mean? Is that
Yes, the competition, they have to pick on something, huh? And usually the Dufour has
Laurent, we can't hear you.
and the main reason is we've been looking for performance, huh? And the lower you put.
Can't hear you, Laurent.
Laurent, we can't hear you. Can you start over?
But with the new team that took over Dufour 2 years ago, we've been addressing that, and all of our boats now come with shallow keel, and definitely the new ones.
Yeah.
So if you look at the characteristics on the internet for the 530, you will see we have a shallow keel, and we have no problem adapting the boat to the bay here in Annapolis or even the Keys and Florida.
Yeah, just to reiterate what Laurent was saying, because he was cut off a little bit, that when Fontaine Peugeot Group took over the Dufour line 2 years ago, yes, the boats were built primarily for the European market and didn't offer a shoal keel option. That's been changed. Now all the boats have a shoal keel option, which will work just fine in Annapolis or Florida or the Caribbean or wherever we're Atlantic Cruising Yachts is selling boats. So they're usually a little bit longer than some of the Group Beneteau boats, but that's a conscious decision. We want boats that sail really well, and we're not willing to, that's probably one of the biggest factors on performance. So it has to be carefully balanced, but there are good shoal draft options for all of them.
Yeah.
Next question.
Sorry,
Mark
Chris,
wants to know, why is there a head forward of the front cabin? A head forward of the front cabin. Let me see.
Well, I think, Chris, because we didn't mention, this is a skipper cabin.
Yeah. So Mark, let me get my pointer here, and if you can see here, this is actually a skipper cabin. So this is a bunk and a toilet and a sink. This is an option, and that we're showing on this boat. So you don't have to get it, but particularly for those charter layouts, it's good to have this in case someone wants to hire a captain. For my personal boat, that would I wouldn't have that, wouldn't take that option, and I would go with the storage space up there. Mark also wants to know if there's an ICW friendly mast height. I don't think on this boat, but there are other Dufour models. I know we're doing that on the 430, is it?
Yeah.
This boat, Mark, the 530 is a boat you want to go out to the ocean, and if you're going from the Northeast down to the Caribbean, go out and hang a right and stay out of the ditch, stay out of the swamp. But if you're in Florida or somewhere where you have to have an ICW friendly mast, there's other Dufour models that we can talk about, and we are doing it for one of our Florida clients right now. Can you change out the skipper cabin for a closed washer dryer? Yes, we've done that before. We've put a washer dryer in that space. I think a better space for that. Well, maybe Laurent or Steven, you know the answer to that question. If you don't get the Pullman cabin here on the starboard side, where does the washer dryer go? Is there a space?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, we didn't design that yet, but I'm sure yes. If there is so much space there, and it's close to the bathroom, so there is definitely enough space to build the washer dryer space here.
Yeah. otherwise, yes, you could certainly put one up here in this space. We've done that before at Atlantic Cruising Yachts, so not a new issue. Options for custom bedding with different mattresses. Yes, aftermarket. ACY, we have a relationship with a company in Annapolis that does incredible bedding and mattresses, and we have had a number of clients do those over the year. Okay, Mark, you're in the Carolina coast. Yeah, I get it. You've got the Wilkerson Bridge there, so I don't think this is a Wilkerson Bridge boat. What about resale value? How is resale on a boat not so well known in America? I think that resale value of the Dufour is going to be very comparable, possibly better than the other production builders that are out there. It's just, there's so many of them that can tend to drive down resale value. So with Dufour, you're getting a great value to begin with. So the entry price that you pay has a lot to do with resale value. And I think you'll do very well.
Yeah, and if I may, the fact that they're also built to last with very strong material against the structure, the bulkheads that are laminated to the hull. The lines that are very simple. The boats, the Dufour, they age really well. So the resale value of even older boats is definitely higher than the market average.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see that. And now that you have such a great dealer in North America to support the product, it's only going to get
absolutely
better. Any other questions that we have? I know we've been going on over an hour here, so maybe I'll take one more, and then we'll let. It's getting kind of late in France. We'll let our friends Stephen and Nicolas retire for the night. Thank you guys very much for taking the time to join us. Laurent, as always, pleasure working with you. And let's see, one more question. What changed in the production process from the Grand Large line to the new line? That's from Lisa.
In the production process, well, this is an improvement that we are making all year long. So for sure that the fact that the Fountaine-Pajot group has acquired Dufour, we are bringing a lot of experience. I can tell you that the new 470 the hull will be infused. So we are bringing new technology to the classical industrial process. And also, well, this is new for this year. We're gonna the production that has started this week will be online. Normally, this is it was like an island. You had a 530 island, a 360 island, and you had a team dedicated to those islands. Now it's going to be like in the car industry. We will have a line, and all the boats will be built with the same team. So it will really bring a lot of flexibility and more quality, because everybody will be focused not on the boat, but on a dedicated task.
Yeah.
So the guy who is gluing the deck will glue the deck. He will be an expert in gluing the deck.
Yeah.
Yes, Laurent.
The other thing I want to add is been very impressed with how much input has been requested from our team, our commissioning team, in some of the new products that are coming out. We've had a couple long Zoom meetings and really listening to what the U.S. market is looking for, not only in terms of options but in features. We've talked about keels. We've talked about different types of rigs and masts, features, appliances. So
number of BTU.
It's really great to have such a partnership, and we've had this relationship with Fountaine-Pajot, as I said, for many years, and I think we've been very collaborative and that's helped the Fontaine Peugeot line evolve from where it was to where it is today, which is the leader in the industry. And our goal is to work with Dufour and work with Stephen and Nicolas and Laurent to make Dufour #1 in the monohull market in North America, and they're committed to that as well. And I think we're going to get there based on what I've seen. So.
And Chris, well, you know, we have this is normal because in Dufour we have a lot of ambitions for the North American market, because and working with a great dealer like ACY will really leverage the brand awareness in North America. I mentioned previously that Dufour is #1 in the 3 biggest markets in Europe: France, Italy, and Croatia, and must be a reason for that. So we want to be the leader also in North America, and in few years we will make it, no problem. With the help of Laurent and with you guys, it's going to happen.
And if I may, just to come back to the question, you know, merging Grand Large with the new line, what has changed? One thing which is critical to our designer, Mr. Felci, he said, okay, we give up the performance range, but what I want, and he got it, is that the specific design of the keel, the bulb of the keel, and the rudders that were designed specifically for the performance range are now all also adapted onto our Grand Large series. And that makes a big difference when you're sailing. And, you know, most of the boat shows here in the US are on the water, so you don't have a chance to see what is happening underneath the water. There are a few boat shows where the boats are outside, and I really strongly encourage you to have a look at the shapes, the profiles of the hulls and the rudders, and also the very hydrodynamic design of the bulb of the Dufour compared to our competitors. And, you know, there is no secret to performance. It's really attention to details.
Great. Well, thanks again, everybody. Stephen and Nicolas, stay safe. Laurent, we'll see you in a few days. And I hope to see everyone in Fort Lauderdale or back in Annapolis in the very near future. So thanks again for joining us. Cheers. And
thanks.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
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 See you soon. See you soon. Bye-bye.